Hello, friends. It is January 1st, 2021, and this is a little bit of a later in the day special edition of our live calls and your ability to ask me any questions you want to about non-diet recovery, eating disorder recovery, health at every size, eating in as most normative, peaceful way as we can, as well as our movement and nervous system health regulation. So I'll do a little summary of what we've put out, the teaching and the encouragement we've put out this week so far. And then I want to encourage you all as I'm talking to ask me any question you want to. I've got about 20 minutes and I've set aside some time for some coaching, whatever you want to ask for and whatever you want to talk about. This is kind of my gift to you as this year gets started. And it gives me some ideas of where you all are feeling hopeful, encouraged, where you need some support, because we are not meant to do this journey alone. I've never met anyone who fully recovers by themselves, and so that's why I offer so much support here, because some people see me one-on-one, some people see me in the peaceful eating group, and some people just see me here. And I want to have as many opportunities for people to get the support they might want and need as possible. So we'll talk about like intention and motivation here in a little while. So I do want to come back and circle around to what we've been talking about earlier this week. We've actually been talking about what are we going to do? The next 6 weeks, I'd say next 6 to 8 weeks are going to be more diet focused. They just are. You all know that if you follow my work, is that we work a lot on being prepared for the fact that we live in a fat-phobic culture. It is in this time in history, we all know that it's about like, well, if you change what you look on the outside, then of course you must not have any problems on the inside. That's the way our culture does it. I know, Nala, we made it, right? And so you are all going to see, if you haven't already seen it so far, which I've seen a few things, and I've seen a few of you either on my Tracy Brown RD page here, or in the intuitive eating support group, or my peaceful eating group. Already people seeing diet ads and talking about how they're going to snooze some people they know and love maybe for the next 30 days, whatever. So they don't have to see the content like, oh, I did have such a great day and I'm such a good person and I'm getting such great results with XYZ restrictive plan, whatever people are doing. And so we've been talking this week about how do we all retain our progress when the whole world who doesn't know about this is still in the groove of like, well, if I just get my body right, then I'll be happy, I'll be safe, loved, and have significance and worth. So those 4 things, keep those four words in mind. We're going to talk a lot more about this in the next about 15 minutes here. Is people want love, safety, worth, and significance. Meaning you want to feel like that you being here matters, basically. Those are the reasons that people go on diets. You might not know that, but those are the reasons that people go on diets. Those are some of the soul wounds when some of that is missing, or the circumstances we might be in are too much. That can cause to feel like, well, the only thing I know how to attach to is diet culture. I'll follow those rules and then I'll get my needs met. So that's what diet culture is about right now. So I want you all to be thinking about for 2021, if you have some of those wounds or all of those wounds, those are the things we're going to talk about from the physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual here on this channel, what you can expect from me. So I have lots of little details about what's going to happen here on whether you're watching me here on Facebook Live or you're on some of my other social media on YouTube. Maybe you just barely ever get on social media and you just follow my blog post, with these video updates. I do also do a lot of little blog posts here or there, only on my blog. So there are some things on social media that that if you only follow me on social media, you're not my email list, that you don't see, only because I consider it an honor and a privilege for people to follow anything I have to say, and especially for those who wait for those things to pop in their emails every week. There's always some little extra goodies there too. So I do hope that you're following what's happening over on my website at tracybrownrd.com as well. So that being said, I know I'm rambling a bit because I want to cover a lot of info, and I want you all to participate as much as possible. So Nala, thank you so much for hopping in. It's been a while since I've seen you, and I will talk about what you suggested here. If anybody else has anything they want me to address in this time, please do so, because this is your opportunity to get some stuff out there. All right, so like I said this week, that on Monday and Wednesday's videos, if you didn't catch those, please go back and watch them, because I've been waiting. You all have been kind of quiet this week around the main places that you feel that you get tripped up, where you freeze when people talk about their diets or they don't understand your non-diet journey. What circumstances do you feel like that you don't know how to take up space, or don't know how to have a voice when other people are talking about their diets, or maybe they're not believing in what you're doing, which is recovery, for goodness sake. It seems like, it seems rational, right? That people would be supportive of, yeah, I'm going to stop dieting because it's making me mentally obsessive. It is causing me physical, emotional, spiritual, mental harm. And it doesn't align with my values. You would think people say, oh, tell me more about that. And the reason that people can't do that, whether it's your mom, your dad, your doctor, your best friend, your work colleagues, is because they're in it. And you being so transparent about the cost makes other people defensive or confused. What do you mean that like diets just make you gain weight? Or what do you mean that like bodies come in all shapes and sizes? Can't I just have the body I want? I'm like, you can, but there's always cost. Always cost. And some people don't feel like that those costs are that big a deal, but you do. And that's why you're doing something different. So what situations make you freeze up? That's something that I want to talk so much more about in 2021. Where are you getting stuck? All right. So I want to hear, those are the videos that we did on Monday and Wednesday. I am looking to hear more specific examples from you all. That way we can go deep in the weeds. I'm not very good at doing surface strategies. I like to talk to and decode what's actually happening. So you have tools to use. All right. So that's why we're talking today. I'm going to go scroll back down or scroll up and see who I've missed so far. And probably in the last couple minutes, I'll tell you a little bit about what's happening over in my neck of the woods that we are trying to roll out and offer to you all to have deeper levels of support as well. So we've got lots in the works. It's going to be a full year unfolding of all that. So you guys all get to be a part of watching that happen. And like anything else, we all have our intentions, but life teaches us, well, actually your idea was all right, but I have something better for you. So that may totally happen, and you guys will be witnessing it as well. So Nala asked me I want to talk about the collective mood affecting our diet. But the news, yeah. Well, if you're noticing something is making you activated, and activation means fight, flight, freeze, or freeze. So hyperactivation is fight or flight, basically obsessing, getting really anxious, ruminating, getting stuck in your head. That's fight or flight. Shutting down, feeling apathetic and kind of fuzzy minded. That's freeze or freeze. Yes, if any of those things from watching the news or anticipating what's going to happen with any country's motives or politics or whatever, if that is impacting your appetite or your ability to feed yourself normatively, you better believe it, that your nervous system is always scanning for safety. If something out there is happening that you don't have the window of tolerance and bandwidth for to like be able to notice, discern, like slow down, discern if this is something that you can do anything about, you should be paying attention to. Reach for support around that and fully digest what's happening. If you don't feel like that you have the capacity for that and you're getting into the activation, it will 100% impact your food. And you'll find yourself going one in two ways, right? You'll either be under or over eating, and that's called resonant hunger. But it is like, I have so many sensations and symptoms of feeling in threat that it's impacting my appetite and it's impacting my ingestion and digestion. So Nala, 100%. If you're noticing something, and you can look hindsight like an hour in the past or 5 minutes, like after something happened that you watched, you read, you paid attention to, and you're finding that it's impacting eating in a way that you don't feel is congruent with your values and goals and being a non-dieter, then that's impacted you, and it's time to take a break from that, basically, or get some more support around it. So again, this is not the year of the lone wolf. I don't believe that, I really do believe that people are going to, I think we've recognized a lot from 2020, and it's that we do need relationship to heal. We need support. And, if the world tries to keep us in lockdown, we've got to fight to get those basic needs met above just like shelter and food and oxygen and water and sleep. It's like we need co-regulation. So keep that in mind. Yeah, so again, if you don't get those needs met of love, safety, worth, and significance, we develop strategies to try to get those met. And usually we do what the culture says we should do to get those, which is always dieting and changing the outside, right? Yeah. So Leslie, thank you for putting in a comment. I'm going to read your comment and see what we can do here with you for you. So Leslie says, I follow you as my 13-year-old is, has an eating disorder, anorexia, and wants to get inside the thoughts I have and what may be triggering to become more aware and empathetic. Pleasure. Okay. So thank you. Okay. So Leslie, I'm just reading out loud what you're telling me is that you're following me and trying to learn a little bit more how to be more empathetic and less triggering to your daughter. I'm so happy to hear that. I mean, I do parent coaching. If you feel like that would be helpful to you, please reach out to me, send me a private message or email me. I'd be happy to talk to you about like where you're kind of feeling stuck and accelerate your progress. I can tell you as a former teenage anorexic myself, I'm 42. I struggled with my eating disorder when I was 16 to 22, 23-ish, is that having people not so much to give me advice or try to fix it or fix me, but really having people say, I'm here for you. Tell me what is going on, even if I couldn't articulate it. But just having, like, again, safe, willing presence to, like, I don't fully understand this, but I believe you. And what you are doing and saying right now isn't in congruence with who I know you to be. And how can I help you? She needs that, and we all need that. So if you're wanting to get a little bit more advice around that, I'd be happy to help. So Mary is saying, so we eventually have to be okay with the mirrors. I feel like the less I look, the mirror. And that may be, Mary, I call it the season. That may be the season of your recovery you're in right now, is that you're taking a break from the mirror being something that's significant in your life. Eventually, yeah, you want to be able to look at how you were made, the genetic program that you were given. You want to be able to see yourself and not hate it. We want to be neutral about it. And eventually I think that we can really come to appreciate like the being part of the diversity that was created. So maybe just take that for now, is that maybe this year is that you get closer to the mirror being just, a thing that helps us actually see ourselves with soft eyes. And Mary, I highly recommend that you go back and look, if you can, through some of my YouTube videos. That might help you find them easier. All those get uploaded. See if you can, you could do a little search within YouTube around like body image, soft eyes. I do a lot of work around that, because if you're looking at yourself with like crinkly, one eyebrow up about what's wrong, of course you're going to reinforce those old parts that have been made to feel less than, okay? If we can work more through a soft eyes approach of who says, other people say that your body's not okay. I know that, again, we still have to live in this world where people have opinions, but it always needs to come down like, well, who says these other humans are the ones that get to decide how people were created? There's right and wrong runs. I just don't believe it. So we're going to work on that soft ice for you this year, okay? So Jennifer says, what freezes me up is people being around a lot of people, wondering what they're saying about me when they're staring at me. I'm gross, etc. Oh, so how old is that part of you that feels like you being visible is unwanted, not okay? That feels a little bit like it's maybe some old stuff that maybe isn't congruent with our adult selves, that we know, our minds know that like not everybody's looking at us, not everybody's paying attention to like our body shapes and sizes. Now, I'm not saying that it doesn't mean that there aren't people who are very fat phobic. What it does mean is that people don't pay as much attention as we think they do. Some people might, but only the very, very outspoken ones are going to have a problem with your presence being there. And we're talking about a very, very small percentage. My thoughts are, Jennifer, that probably there's a little bit more underneath the food and body talk. So when people say, I feel fat, I feel gross, it means I feel uncomfortable. So you need to be able to name what is making you feel uncomfortable in that circumstance. Always go back to decoding. What is making me feel happy, mad, sad, or afraid? And whatever derivative emotion that is there. And you might find that if you're around a lot of people, there's a part of you that's like, oh, I wonder what they think about me. Am I too much? Am I safe here? There's some insecurity. And it's so much easier to blame the body versus just saying, I don't know my significance here. I don't know if I'm safe here. This is about relationship, maybe not about your body. So, be curious about that. So Jenny is saying, thanks for starting out the new year with us. Well, you're welcome. I'm so happy to be here with you all. Thank you so much for your support of me and the work I'm trying to offer, So I just appreciate you all being here. It really would help a lot if you're able to pass along, tag your friends in these videos, share them on your pages, other places. It really helps people get a little bit more nuanced approach to the things that we read or hear in podcasts and stuff like that. So Jennifer is saying, leaving my home, your anxiety and panic levels skyrocket. Yeah, well, I'm not sure, Jennifer, who are all these people that are calling you names like lazy, which, yeah, you're not. I'm glad that your adult self can be like, no, I'm not. That's not true. And I'm not sure who are all these people who are doing that to you right now. But it's really important that you start to separate out, like, even if people did say that, could you be the supportive adult to the younger parts of you, the scared parts of you, that can take a stand? I think that comes with practice and time, but this is blended stuff, meaning like, old stuff, adult stuff. I know sometimes it's hard to separate like what's real in 2021 and what's not, but it's really important that you start to recognize that. So thank you everybody else that is watching live. I really appreciate you. Yeah. Leslie, you're welcome. So Nala says, fuzzy stress, I can't enjoy the food. I'll keep this in mind, thank you. Yeah. So Nala, I'm glad that you're back online and, waiting to chat with you more someday. So Mary's replying to Jennifer, I think when I look in the mirror, I'm thinking about what people will think. And, right, isn't that the thing that we do worry about what other people think? And I think that is part of the maturation process that dieting takes away. Most of us have dieted when we were younger. I'm not saying everybody. Lots of people develop disordered eating later on in life in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s. But for most of us, there's a little bit of arrested development around learning how to grow up and not care as much what people think. And not that it doesn't matter what people think. It's more about like, knowing that our value doesn't lie in what people think. Oh, Leslie, thank you for sharing about that movie. I've only seen a few little previews of it, and I was wondering if that was a take on it. And that's exciting to hear. Thank you for sharing that. Um, okay. Well, Jennifer, I'm so sorry that somebody actually said that to you. I don't know if that's somebody in your family or some random stranger. But if that's someone close to you, you know that that's a toxic relationship. If that's a complete stranger, it's disturbing and shocking. I'm so sorry that happened. I'm so glad you know that, like, that your size has nothing to do with your ability or your work ethic or any of those kind of things that you have so much control over. So keep reviewing the key semi-starvation study around how we don't have say, honestly, over how our body responds to restricting, and we have to accept our genetic blueprints for sure to have freedom. Oh, Kate, good to see you. I'm glad you caught this live. If you have any questions, I'm gonna have to hop off here in a few minutes here. But if you have any questions about 2021, what your hopes for healing are, please let me know about that so I can make sure I tailor all the work I do to best meeting y'all's needs. So, yeah. Jennifer, that's so strange. A stranger in a store for real said that to you. All I can say to that is, like, it's really weird and creepy. And I really hope, even though I know it hurt you, please do not take it to the heart that somebody, a complete stranger in a store, would say something like that to another stranger. It's totally bizarre. So I'm sorry that happened to you, for sure. And I'm kind of I'm not minimizing, I'm just pretty speechless that was a complete stranger that doesn't know what you once looked like and now what you look like and all those kind of things. So I'm so sorry that happened to you. But so before I have to hop off, I want to tell you a little bit more about what's happening in 2021. We are growing, and I've been really thoughtful about the things I notice that people most struggle with in their recovery. So this year, right now, I have a specialist on my team that is going to be working a lot with people who are struggling, like families. So I've noticed with COVID that I just have a very big influx of parents who need support with their kiddos. And so I have a really great person named Amy who's excellent with families, who's going to be helping me out working on these cases. So please go to my website and learn more about Amy. And then later on in the summer and fall, I'm going to have a sports nutrition and exercise physiology specialist on my team. She's going to be working on especially with people who have chronic injuries and fitness and sports related injuries from a very integrated non-diet approach. She also works with eating disorders too. Everybody on my team works with eating disorders. But I'm going to be doing, again, most of the trauma work and, obviously complex stuff, all the exercise addiction stuff and, fitness addiction, as well as, all kinds of eating disorders and chronic burnout issues as well, gut health, adrenal stuff, all that. So all that I still offer and do. And then so we're going to have a sports nutrition exercise physiologist on our team come this fall, and a gut health specialist who has lived out some very pretty extreme gut health things and has a really good grounded with her own healing right now. All these are going to be licensed registered dietitians with their other specialties as well. So everybody will work with eating disorders with an intersection, a couple of different specialties, because I've really been paying attention to what you all are struggling with. So me and Amy and her name's Allison, we're going to be doing a lot of our body burnout, hormone health, PCOS, family and trauma work. And then we'll have Danielle come on board in the fall as well and help with more. A lot of people come to me with sports nutrition needs and exercise physiology needs. And I was once an expert in those things, but I've kind of let some of those things go. And so I want people who want to know how to work with their own body's physiology to be active and healthy without it being obsessive. So we are trying to really specialize to help you all out as efficiently as possible. So that's what's happening here in 2021. I'm going to also be offering some kind of little mini courses, I think. We also do a lot of food, body image, and movement, trauma integrated work in our peaceful eating community, so you don't have to do all that by yourself, whether you're doing individual or you're kind of on your own doing some recovery. So we're doing all that there, but I'm going to be offering probably in the spring some mini courses around nervous system regulation and digestion as well. So if that interests you all, please give me some hearts and likes below, only because I want to make sure that that's on the right track from what I'm noticing that people are talking about. And we just want to offer as comprehensive teamwork to help you as we can. So anyway, just want to yak on real quick about all that. Thank you, Mary. I'm excited because, we can't all know everything about everything. And I think that the longer sometimes our eating stuff goes by, the more, nuance we have to be to get people on the right track instead of spending 10 years trying to find the right people. We want to help people get their lives back as quickly as possible. Yeah. I don't know if you know my Danielle or not. She maybe could be. I could be wrong. You might know her, Debbie. That would be cool. Yeah, I'm excited, Jennifer, too. I am going to do a polyvagal mini course. I think that would be really helpful for people to kind of go through the different nuances of things. So I am going to do that's what the mini course mainly is going to be about. Let's see here. I think that's it. I think that's all the new news that I can share with you all, and I'm really excited that you're going to be here. If anybody missed anything else from this week's videos, I'm just kind of reading through here real quick. I am really happy to help, or help with the more nuances of that. So Patty Ann says that she found this page by accident, but kind of struggling to do the things she knows to do. Yeah, well, Patty, sometimes this is why polyvagal theory and why I offer it is so important, is that our minds can know better, but our bodies aren't on board. That means we don't have enough safety in our systems to be able to do it. So if you're more curious about that approach, please do a consultation with me. It's free, just to kind of let me get a little more insight into what you're struggling with, because you're like the majority of the people that I work with, is that we know what we need to do, but there's parts of us who can't get on board with that yet. And that's because there's not enough safety inside to do it. There's not enough safety to reach for what our needs truly are and to digest those without it feeling like it's too much or not enough. So, all right, Molly, I know you asked me a question in another space, and I'm going to get to that question for you, okay? All right. I hope you do, Jennifer. It'll be fun. I think that you're going to grow pretty immensely from where you're at from that. So, all right. Thank you all so much for coming. I appreciate y'all. Please tag me if you have some more, if you've watched this whole video and you have some more thoughts about what's happening. And I look forward to seeing what's up for us all in 2021. So thank you so much. Bye for now.